Hey everyone, welcome to Planet Nerd. Doku here with NeonKurai, bringing you guys another movie review of the recently released Guardians of the Galaxy, brought to you by Marvel Studios.
Indeed. This, I think, was probably one of my favorite Marvel movies that has come out so far.
Oh, really?
Yes. I, I wouldn't say that it was the best overall, but I would say it's probably in my top five, maybe even top three.
'Cause it was like, I mean, it was definitely better than like the Phase One movies of like Thor and Captain America. But yeah, I can see it. I can see it being like top three. I
Yeah.
definitely put it second to, I mean, nah, I'll put it, yeah, top three. Because it would be Avengers and Winter Soldier, then this movie.
That was exactly my top three.
'Cause
Yeah.
that Avengers was just amazing. But we're not talking about Avengers, we're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. Alright. So your thoughts, Leon.
Um, I honestly, when I was first seeing the trailers for it, I'm pretty sure I had the exact reaction of everybody else. Like, I don't know what to make of this. Cause like they had the goofy song going and everything, and it was like I already feel like they might have a little bit too much comedy in the Marvel movies in general, and then I see this and it's like it looks like it's purely comedy, but I feel like they pulled it off really well because it's like as opposed to the other Marvel movies where the comedy sometimes can work against the drama, this one is generally a lot more lighthearted, so the comedy feels a lot more natural to the situations and the characters.
Yeah. Like when I first saw the trailer, I was like, man, this movie's going to be trash. It's gonna be so garbage. I didn't know what to make of it because just the way the trailer was, then the music, and not knowing the characters either at all. And I wasn't gonna research them either because my only knowledge about Guardians of the Galaxy was from the Marvel vs. Capcom with Rocket Raccoon. Like I knew Rocket Raccoon, but I had no idea who everybody else was. And unless you have watched the Earth's Mightiest Heroes series on Disney XD, like I did, you have a general knowledge of them. But even then, turning it into a live action movie, I was skeptical, and the trailer didn't help. And then the last one they released was decent enough, so I'm like, okay, maybe it's good. Then I saw like everybody was like, oh, that was like one of the. I'm like, what? Yeah,
You might want to repeat that last part because your headset was kind of dying.
I was saying the critics were even liking the movie, which that is rare when you have critics actually loving a Marvel movie. At least at the rate I was looking, because I go from Rotten Tomatoes sometimes. So I think it was like 92%, if not 96% of people or the critics liked it. So that is huge, huge percentage of critics liking a Marvel movie. That's kind of rare, at least especially for unknown characters that aren't really established yet in the
Yeah,
Marvel movie franchise.
it also had a 99% on Metacritic too.
Damn.
Yeah.
But But yeah, let me see. Going from the beginning of the movie, like I saw some people complaining about like using dead parents as like a story element and a story pusher, but at the same time, it's like, yo, it's a Marvel story. You can't change the origin of the Marvel story. It was done by Marvel Studios. The storyline was established 40 to 50 years ago. So why would they change it? Like everybody usually has a tragic upbringing one way or another, but the way they did it, they used it where like you could even cut it out and it still would have been an amazing movie. It was just more background on the character, main character Star Lord, which I thought was cool how they did that.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting Star Lord to be like a completely like goofy character, like can't take him seriously at all sort of thing, but he was actually pretty cool. Like out in the beginning where he's like fighting off all those guys that came to capture him, and he actually was like using the jetpacks to like fly away from the one guy and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And I
And
like. Oh, my bad. You go.
Well, I was gonna probably move on to another point, so you should probably do yours.
No, no, you move on because it might not cover what I was gonna say. So
Also, I think speaking of characters, I think the dynamic between the main characters was really good between Star Lord and Gamora and Drax and Groot and Rocket. I feel like they had a really interesting sort of dysfunctional group dynamic. It kind of reminded me of Avengers, where you have all these like strong personalities meeting each other for the first time, and they're kind of at odds with each other, and they're like bickering and fighting with each other and whatnot. But in the end, they learn how to work together.
yeah, and like the way they um introduced or like told the backstory. It wasn't too much. It wasn't too much film time for the backstory, but it was just enough for you to get a in-depth look or like just a snippet of like what everyone's been through. It was nice how they did it.
Yeah, like they didn't try to focus too much on all the characters' origins. It's like they kind of left a little bit of mystery, like with Rocket's origin. Like you find out just a little bit about who he is and like why he is a talking raccoon, but you don't like they don't dwell too much on it. It's just like one scene really. And same thing with like what's his name, Drax, where you find out why he wants to kill Ronan. I mean that is kind of a big part of his character, but at the same time, it's not something that they try to force too much, really.
Yeah, and I also liked how they introduced the villains too. Like you even got background on some of the villains too. Small. It's like the way they did the movie. Everything had a purpose in the film, no matter what it was. It could have been the smallest thing possible, well, like such as like a the cassette tape in the film. You wouldn't think much of it. You thought it was just a basic tape, but like it comes into play later in the film. Every piece of information comes becomes important later in the film, which I like a lot.
Mm, yeah. I also I think the actors themselves did a really good job. Like Chris Pratt as Star Lord, and like
Yeah,
I had no idea he was even the dude from Workaholics. Like he looks completely different now. Like you could tell he really got into shape for the role, and he did a really good job of giving Star Lord that like kind of goofy side, but at the same time making him kind of serious when he needs to be. And I like that aspect of his character. Like he wasn't just goofy or just serious. Like he knew when to be serious.
yeah, yeah.
And
Character dynamic was very good between all the characters. Like there was a funny dialogue, like the little jokes that they did. The fact that Raccoon was probably the only one who truly understood what Groot was saying when he said "I am Groot" because of their long friendship.
yeah, I find it kind of ironic that Zoe Saldana or Saldana, I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, but in the Star Trek reboot, she had that friend who was a green female
Yeah,
alien, and now she's playing a green female alien.
yeah. I didn't even think about that. And the fact that she starred in two Galaxy Adventure no, three Galaxy Adventure films, but two Galaxy Adventure series. Guardians of the Galaxy and Star Trek.
Yeah, but going back to the villains, I feel like I liked Ronan as the bad guy, but at the same time, he kind of I felt like he was kind of the same thing as the Dark Elf Malekith from Thor: The Dark World, where it's like because he's not such like a well-known character, you don't really feel that like epicness when he's around and when like the good guys are trying to fight him. And we already know that Thanos is involved, so it kind of stole his thunder, sort of.
I mean, at least when I saw him from watching Earth Mightiest Heroes, I thought like, well, I understood the whole Kree Empire and the Nova Corps and stuff like that. And at least in Earth Mightiest Heroes, that dude had came as like the execute. What was he? He was like a
The
judge.
accuser.
Yeah, the accuser, where he was just trying to see if a planet was worthy or not. But then seeing him in this film, it's kind of different, but like he was decent as a villain. He wasn't the greatest because you see Thanos or Thanos there, and like you're like, okay, that is the big bad boss right there. But this dude's kind of like father. But I did like, oh shoot, I did like in the finale though that like that whole like, man, how to say it. Oh, the fact that the mission was not to let this man touch the ground, like that whole mission, like he cannot touch the ground because if he touches the ground, it's over. Just that imminent threat. Like this dude is so powerful at this point that if he touches the ground, it's over. Like you lose. I like that.
And that was with just one Infinity Stone. But I think this movie really opens up some interesting possibilities for the cinematic universe, because like they had the Celestial being that was in it for a little bit, so maybe we'll see some more Celestial characters, and uh, it, like I wonder if they'll put in like Nova, like the actual Nova character. I forget his real name.
I hope they put the Centaurian. I wonder if he's the last Centaurian. Hold on, I'd have to look it up. But I was hoping to see like a Centaurian though, or at least one of the stronger Nova members and come out into play. But I did like how the Novas were fighting though. They were
Mm,
pretty. Oh, we only saw the Corpsmen, so we saw the lowest of the army. But I was hoping to see Centaurians though.
yeah, like I'm wondering if they're gonna bring the actual Nova Force into play.
That would be dope
Mm. Maybe in Guardians 2, which of course they announced before this movie even was out.
because they knew their movie was gonna be good. It was very well done.
Yeah,
Great adventure movie.
indeed. Like I feel like e- even if this wasn't a Marvel movie, I feel like this would still be just a solid like space adventure movie.
Yeah, yeah. Just going in, not knowing anything about Marvel or Guardians of the Galaxy. It was a good space movie, space adventure movie.
Yeah, and about the after credit scene, without spoiling anything, I feel like people were really surprised by what happened and possibly a little bit disappointed, but I thought it was kind of interesting.
Oh, what
The
part were you talking about?
the scene after the credits.
Yeah. I mean, that's because most people wanted to get some information about, the next upcoming Marvel movie.
Yeah, probably expecting something from Age of Ultron, but you know, I kind of like what they did because it's like it's not taking itself too seriously in a way, and it's like I can't really go into detail because like trying to keep this review spoiler free, but well, just know that you won't really be saying anything from Age of Ultron or Ant Man or anything after the credits.
Yeah.
So, I think we've pretty much touched on all the main points. Unless you had something more to add to it.
No, other than I might start playing some Rocket Raccoon and some Marvel, but other than that, uh, yeah, I would give this movie 8.5. Yeah, 8.5 or 9. Me personally, I probably a little more than 8.5. That's just me.
Yeah,
It's very good though.
I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10, and definitely looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and even more looking forward to the Avengers Guardians team up that they said was going to happen at some point.
That would be dope.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see Rocket and Tony start talking about like technology things, and maybe he teaches them how to make that giant bomb thing from Guardians.
Uh, oh, you probably most likely be shooting first, ask questions later.
Mm. Well, I imagine they would become friends since they're both kind of snarky
After
super
a few,
geniuses.
yeah.
Yeah. So, in short, this was definitely a good movie. Good characters, good acting, good writing, good action, good comedy. So, definitely, if you get the chance, check it out.
Indeed.
So, I think that's going to do it for our review of Guardians of the Galaxy. So, from me, NeonKurai, and from Doku, remember to check out the League of YouTube Gamers for more quality Let's Play content. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time.
Peace.